Hello guys, hope you're all doing okay. Um, just realised I forgot to open PureRef. Yeah, so quick apology. Last stream, for some reason no one told me that my microphone was like horrifically clipping. So rather than delete the video, YouTube wouldn't let me edit it, and I don't want to like download the entire thing, then like reduce the audio, then re-upload it. It'll just take so long, and I don't think it's really worth it. So for now, I've just changed the title of the previous video. To make sure that people like turn down their speakers before they play it. But yeah, so beyond that, I've done a little bit of work off stream as per usual. Nothing too major, to be honest. I've just kind of gone in. I've changed the amount of loops around the eyes, so now we have 48. Well, 96 if you're symmetrical. The corner in here, I've gone back to conventional topology, where it kind of like wraps around. I just found that like having the loop going down this way didn't give me quite what I wanted. So I've gone back to this, and that helps me have a little bit more geometry in the corner. And then on the other side, it's still the same as what it was. It still has that loop going that way, although we do need to change the position of this loop. We need to kind of get this guy, if I do it super quickly, we need to get this guy to be the corner, like that. So that'd be obviously extremely easy to do, so I'm just going to move it in place. Hey, Badan. But yeah, so that'll be a fairly quick fix. There's a lot of issues. Obviously, the way the eyelid is currently like on the inside isn't very good. So we'll need to fix that. But we're probably just going to do all that in ZBrush, to be honest. I'm still weighing up if I want to do the head subdivision thing, where we select the entire head. Let me just grab all these. Nope. I think that's everything. Cool. Grow selection a little bit. So I'm still weighing up if I want to do this. I think I will, but not yet. I've still got other stuff I need to kind of get in place. The reason I want to do that is because for me right now, the kind of poly balance between the body and the head isn't really there. Like, right now, this works fine. But the thing that's going to happen is when I start adding, skin details, most of the body is completely covered. The hands aren't covered, and the face isn't covered, and the middle of the stomach isn't covered. But obviously the face is the focus. And to get the details that I want in displacement, I'll need X number of subdivisions, let's say 5. Now, if I subdivide the head once, I can subdivide the entire model at render time like one less time, like because the body doesn't need all the polygons. So as a base mesh this works, but I feel like for the render mesh I kind of want the head to be higher res. But yeah, so before we do all that though, I do need to kind of sculpt the inside of the lips, because this doesn't make any sense. I am going to do teeth and tongue, but I'm going to do them as a separate geometry, just because fuck doing them in one geo is kind of pointless. As much as I want to, it's so time consuming. Yeah, and sculpt the eye socket as well to kind of make that make some sense. But yeah, so I guess for the sake of being able to do this stuff quickly, I'm going to throw some extremely basic UVs on here. And when I say extremely basic, I mean like I'm barely even going to unfold them. That's just so I can get polygroups out of it. So let me just go to mapping, planar map Z, and then let's just place some cuts. In fact, let me alt save. Go over to the UV editing. Nice. Wide stance. Cut there. Gonna cut. So I'm doing this purely for polygroups. So I don't actually really care that they that the UVs are gonna overlap. Let's get a polygroup for the ear. Okay, that works. Hey, sculpted. Oh, that's world Y. Let's go world X. Okay, cut that. I'm going to cut, let's say here. Let's say for the lips, cut here. are UVing now? Not really. I'm literally just cutting the mesh apart so that I can do polygroups in ZBrush a little bit quicker. And let's cut the hands off too. I think the rest of it's fine because I'm not going to be worrying about the body for a while. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, so that literally all that will do is like it won't be usable UVs. It will just be polygrouping. Because before I worry about like actual final UVs, I kind of need to get all the topology in place for everything. I think this is crashing right now. Nice, nice. Come on. Come on, Maya, you can do it. Might have to kill Maya. Yeah, so let's think for a moment. I'm going to need to hide the rest of the geometries so I can work on this. So let's go to Subtool, hide all this stuff. We've got the body group. We won't need the eyes. We're going to need to merge these two groups now. Put that in the body group, if I can. You can't subgroup, alright, cool. Or we can delete hand proxy. We can delete, oh, the actual hand proxy. We can delete the tail, I guess not yet anyway. Yeah, not yet. We can merge some of these down. In fact, actually, let's hide you. I'm going to make a mesh out of these. And we'll just mask out the other stuff. Oh, the eyebrows. I need to remove those. There we go. Cool. So let's go Z plugin. I'm not worried about the hands. The hands were like objectively bad. Are you going to be deleting geometry under the clothing? No, I'm not. Otherwise I wouldn't spend so long retopoing it. It would have been a waste of time. Transpose master. Let's T-pose mesh. Okay, 700k. Oh, because it went down. Okay, delete that. Oh, we actually already have the mesh that we want. Okay, we'll keep that. It does have the eyebrows in it, but I guess we can make it again. Delete. Delete that. Okay, so let's go to the face. Go to geometry. Delete lower. Cool. And then we're just going to T-pose mesh again. Okay, 2 mil. That's more in line with what I want. So now we just need to Dynamesh that. Geometry, Dynamesh. I think Dynamesh is capped at a certain amount of polygons. Cancel. Nope, not what I want. It's not Dynameshing. Oh. Yeah, 1.7 mil. So if I increase this, 1.7 mil. Yes, it's capped at 1.7 mil for some reason. But that will do. Then we'll. Do we even need to decimate this? I guess not. So we're just going to use this as a kind of backup mesh. So let's go Subtool, Append, T-pose, and we'll hide these guys. Cool. That's all that done. Is Maya still crashing? If so, we'll just kill it. Yeah, it is. Let me just get Task Manager to kill it. And task. There we go. Reopen Maya. Okay. open this. So super quickly get back into the UV editing workspace. Okay, nice. Mapping, planar map Z. Then again we'll just cut World X. Get UV. Get the nostrils. Cut UV. Get the inner mouth. Cut UV. Get the ear. Get the horns. And then hands. Let's go a little bit higher up actually. Okay. I guess we may as well cut the tail off while we're at it. Swing for a moment. Yeah, we'll cut from here. Okay. So that might be all we need. Let's go File, Export Selection. We're just going to go to Modeling, Maya, Exports, and then these are all temp, right? Although I guess for ZBrush is fine. I always like fuck up my naming conventions when it comes to exports, so I need to figure out like how I'm going to handle this. I guess this is an actual base mesh, like a proper one. So now we can just call it body geo. I'll call it body base geo, just because I'm going to be doing the subdivision later. And it might be helpful to keep this geometry around. So body base geo, let's do that. Cool. And then I can go back into my actual scene and bring this in with it. Which I can probably do a little bit easier by just deleting everything I don't need anymore. We've got the digit backup, we've got the wrist guide, which we don't need. We've got U and U, which we don't need. Digit backup, is it worth keeping U? No, it's not. This is a head mesh, yep. And this is a caruncle, yeah. I don't think we need that because it's beyond proxy. So let's delete that. We'll create one in ZBrush and zero mesh it. But yeah, so that's that exported. Eyelash test. We'll keep that on its own. We'll leave that there. So let's go to ZBrush. I'm going to append a new geometry, just a sphere. Import, and let's go modeling, Maya, exports, body base geo. Cool. So no surprises there, it matches up. Oh yeah, everything's offset. Okay, so we need to sort that out. What's going to be the best way to do that? Okay. Okay, all the sculpted meshes need to be moved to the right. So we're going to select all these guys. It's going to be heavy as all hell. Let's go to T-pose mesh. I can delete that other one actually while I'm here. Okay, so let's go do plugin, T-pose mesh. Okay, then export this. Temp geo, my favorite. Temp geo. That'll take a moment because it's exporting a lot of polygons. Maya's gonna hate this as well, but we'll see. Cool, so back to Maya. Gonna create a new scene, I think. In fact, no, we'll leave this scene alone. Let's import. We want to go to exports, temp geo. This will take a hot minute. I do remember the number. I can't remember if it's positive or negative, but that's quite an easy fix. Cool. So we got this guy. And then, so we need to move it 0.035 in the X. 0.035. There we go. And that makes it exactly centered. If I set that back to the way it was, I'm going to modify center pivot. Let's just double check. Okay, and then I'm going to set this to world 0. Oh, it's 0.32, okay. Right, and that works. Cool, alright. Let's get that back exported. Well, modify 3D transformations. File. Export selection, there it is. Export it back over this guy. Yeah, doing that is like really important because it means the center line is actually in the center. If it wasn't, that would be kind of a nightmare, to be honest. Whew. This might take a little while. Maya's exports are a little bit slower than ZBrush's. Oh, it's already done. Sweet. Okay, ZBrush. Then we just go to this guy, who's still in T-pose. We import that. And what will happen is it will move slightly to the right. There we go. It's so subtle. But that's all we need. And then we just go back to T-pose mesh. T-pose sub T. So yeah, everything's just like very slightly moving to the right. That's literally all we needed that whole time. But now it's actually symmetrical again. So what we'll find is showing this guy actually lines up again. Although it's still not completely right. Something's off. But it's closer. At the very least the center line's in the right place again. Something's asymmetrical about it, but we'll fix that. It could even be that our mesh from Maya wasn't in the right place itself, because it turns out it was 0.32 rather than 0.35. Anyway, so we have that. We can delete this guy. Then append. Add our temp geo. There we go. And then we're just going to go in, hide these guys. These guys will stay hidden for a little while I work on this. Oh, we do need... Okay. Delete that. We need to make another temp geo. Show these guys. Not the shoes. We need the body. Okay, well these are in the right place now, so we just go T-pose mesh. Yep, that's fine. Cool. Then go to geometry. 1.78 mil. Yep. Then go back to this guy. So delete him. Go back to body mesh. Append. T-pose. Sweet. And they line up again. So yeah, there's some asymmetry built into this. Weird. But yeah, so that's working now. So we can hide these two. Select you. If I'm gonna quickly grab this guy, solo, color pick, and then I can go back to you. And this is gonna be, yeah, a nicer color. So before we start projecting this, we need to get the polygroups. So let's go to polygroups. And this is why I did the UVs earlier. Auto group with UV. Nice. Okay. Great. Fine. Why? It does have UVs. Let me just turn this off. I'm gonna go into shells. Layout UVs. Don't know why I did it like that, but okay. I'm wondering what some of these are. What is that? Oh, it's the horn, okay. I just need these to be visibly separate. There we go. A junior salary is enough to survive in. I'm really worried that if I start working in a big city, rent would wreck me. Yeah, I mean, junior salaries are low. Granted, on a national level, they're not awfully low. Like, there's a lot of lower paying jobs. What you'll find is, it depends on the city. I started in London. My first salary was £25,000 a year as a junior groom artist. I was house sharing with 3 people. So if you want to live alone, junior salary isn't enough in London. But like, not living alone is perfectly valid. That's the way I did it. It's body-based geo. Okay, back into here. Okay, just go to subtool, import. Okay, then we're just going to go to geometry. Where are you? Geometry. Wait, what am I doing in geometry? Polygroups is what I need. There we go. So now I can just do this, mask. Grab that as well. Wait, let me... I guess I can start with those. That as well. Cool. So now we just go into subtool, unsolo, and we're going to hit project on this. So subtool, make sure we've got symmetry enabled. Then subtool project, project all. Okay. Then we go up a subdivision. So up 1 subdivision. Okay, we can go up a few. Let's go up, yeah, 4 mil. There we go. So the areas that are going to get fucked up is the eyes. Like, this area is going to get completely ground to a pulp. We will just have to slowly resculpt it, basically. We can mask it, actually, but it's not going to do a lot for us. Okay, there we go. Then project. Cool, there we go. There we go. So now we got most of the body back in. We got most of our forms in. We need to now go through and start fixing areas up. I'm going to go back to the lowest res. In fact, no, I'm going to leave it alone. We need to start fixing all this shit, basically. Yeah, so let's start fixing projection errors. Inside the mouth here, just smooth that out. Again, I'll be resculpting a lot of it, so I'm not too worried about losing definition at this stage. Okay. Then we just go through, go up a subdivision, smooth, go up a subdivision, smooth, go up a subdivision, smooth. Hands were left untouched. Good. And the hands are awful. We'll be resculpting those a lot. Okay. So now we just have to start on the worst step of this entire thing, which is just resculpting the eyes. Oh, did I capture? I captured too much detail. We need to go down to subdivision level. Which makes sense, actually, because we are higher poly than the source. Let's go to geometry. Delete higher. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think I actually do need that subdivision back up. Let's go one. Why am I struggling to get my camera oriented today? Like, it's just not playing ball. Let's do that. Okay, and then we're just going to inflate the lip spec closed. Then we'll need to go on the inside of the mouth, which is actually easier said than done. We may need to add another cut. Getting a call. One sec. Back in a moment. I'm back. My mum was asking me if I wanted Super Mario or Animal Crossing. It's a nice day. Right, so. Yeah. So the lip line needs to come down a bit, doesn't it? Move topological. Okay, I'm gonna mask out some areas here. Just gonna recover some of these forms. Areas where it's like slipping away the most. Which is basically like all of this. Project. Maybe it has projected actually. manually. So now we go down to the lowest res. We want to pull the eye line down. Oh, so the eyelid. So we're going to mask out this part. In fact, we're going to mask in this part. I need to get into the habit, like masking smallest regions and then inverting. So we grab all of this, invert, blur once, remask the edge of the eyelid because we don't want that to move, and then we just show the mesh, BMV. Then we just start pulling this back out. We'll probably need to back face mask because our eyelid's incredibly thin. In fact, we could probably do with masking this a bit more nicely, but that's later me's problem. Let's go with brush, water masking, back face mask. Is most of the industry working remotely, or are you encouraged to work in office? I believe most of the industry is working in remote, like working from home. I'm currently working from home. I haven't actually seen the digital domain office yet, and I've been working there for 3 months. Well, I've seen the building, I've never been in it though. Okay, we're going to inflate back here. So what we need to do is just make sure that we don't inflate it to the point of like self-penetration. I'm just going to inflate the eyelid until it has a nicer thickness. And at this point we can start showing the eyes, come to think of it. So let's show the head geo. Show the eyes. It's very thick eyelids. In fact, yeah, where does ours sit on that? Go transparent. Okay, not too far back, but also not far enough forward. Okay, so it is actually sitting there. Cool. It's just sat very slightly behind it, which kind of throws everything off. Okay, so now we can start masking the outside. Although this sort of stuff would be a lot easier with polygroups. Is this masking through? It is. Okay. I go to the lowest res, export that back to Maya. Body base geo. Yes. Okay, we're going to File, Import. Grab body base geo. Yeah, I expected as much. Okay. I'm gonna call this. Yeah, we'll rename that. Body base geo. So preview map. Cool. And then we'll just quickly add some loops where we want them. Just cut there. Let's cut here as well. Oh wait, you have a polygroup for the back. Okay, well let's just cut eyelid shelf, because that's kind of helpful to have anyway. World X. Okay. So grab that. What else will we need? We want the innermost. Oh yeah, there we go. This loop. We want that guy cut. Cool. What else? Do we want a middle line that we can resymmetrize with? I think so. No, I'm not going to add that in polygroups. I can do that really easily by hand. Okay, so that's that. We're just going to grab UV shells. Okay, then I'm going to save my scene. As long as the work gets done, everyone is happening. Absolutely, yeah. Export selection. There's not many companies that are forcing people in. Like, obviously, there's the kind of infamous RAG system that NPC's implemented, which obviously caused a few issues for the company, but which is a massive fucking shame. But yeah, there's not many companies doing that. As far as I'm aware, it's just Technicolor right now. Well, I'm not aware of any other companies forcing people in. Right, base geo. Cool. Get back into here. Just gonna re-import that. Cool, nothing changed, that's what we expect. Let's go to polygroup. Let's go for UV. There we go. Technicolor is having some serious issues. Yeah, it's fucking mental what's happening at the moment. It's really sad because, like, for me, like, Technicolor is how I got started. Like, NPC got me into the industry. It's like watching what's currently happening to it is actually kind of tragic. But I can't say it's not self-inflicted. So, yeah, so be it. Right, so this poly loop. I'm going to hide these guys as well. And what we need to do is, let's think for a moment, we can set this to, in fact no, we want to hide the head. So there's that, is that the eye? Shit, okay. We need to move our eye socket. Although we do need to get a Maya eye at some point. Is that the Maya eye? Come to think of it. No, it's not. Alright, we'll need to get our Maya eyes in it at some point. Is that eye template there? It's the template, yeah, of course. So I need the mesh from Maya. Let's just grab. Okay, so we need to go into the actual scene now. Modeling, Maya, scenes. We need our eyes. We'll import the body mesh back into this. Cool. Fatal error. Nice, nice. Very good. Okay, well, I guess we'll ignore that for a moment. So we need to go to geometry. But no, we do need that other mesh. Sorry, I'm getting very confused at the moment. If I get a fatal error again, we've got problems. Cool. So perspective. Oh, we're already in perspective. Sweet. Is it so slow? Either way, file, import. Modeling Maya exports. Body base geo. Okay. Do we have preview mat in this scene, or do I need to make one? I need to make one, I think. Blend. Let's isolate this guy. I always like to have a preview map when I can. Let's go show selection highlighting. Cool, that'll do. So we just need to start getting everything into place. Yeah, it is so thin. But that is in place now, so we can do this. Yep, so that's all been moved. I'm gonna hide these geometries. And that's our eye positions, right? Although these will need moving over as well, I think. I'm just gonna explore those as they are. Well, I'll export the corneas. So I don't need the other geometries. Okay. File, export selection. Let's go to modeling, Maya, exports. Geo. Let's call it iGeo. In fact, we'll call it iCornea. Just in case we need the irises later. Avoid naming clashes. Okay, let's go append. File, import. Hopefully these line up. I really actually hope they do. Okay. What's the error? Oh wait, these are still instances, aren't they? What if I convert instances to objects? Cool. File, export selection. Import. There we go. And they do line up. Good. I kind of want to transfer let's go to project, geometry, project all. Project all. There we go. We have eyes. Which are a little bit less full than the sculpted ones. Just gonna re-import the base over that. got actual eyes in the scene, which have mostly the right placement of things. When texturing, is it better to texture in a painting app like Mori or with ZBrush? I mean, always in a dedicated software. ZBrush is fine for texturing. I mean, you can do basic textures in there. There are people out there who do like crazy shit with them, but really not recommended. It's gonna have problems. Right, so T-pose mesh. Cool. So we need you. We need to set this guy to double. Hide that guy. Hey, sweet Natu. So display properties, we're going to set this to double. Pull things. And then we just need to go back to showing you. And you. Cool. So then we just go to that guy, set this to transparent, ghost. And we just need to move these to match, basically. And once we've got this in the right place, we can start getting the other, the inside of the eye matching up, which actually is quite easy, because we just project the eye socket to the eye shape, like the actual eye geometry itself. This will just help us get an eyelid that actually fits. Granted, something I still don't understand is how it's supposed to fit in this area. I guess it has to push against the eye. But that'll create very funky looking eyelids. If we turn off this mode now, hide you. Okay. We're just gonna move all this stuff until it matches the eye. Okay. And then comes the fun bit. We just quickly sculpt out transparent. Sculpt this out. Hello. Oh, backface mask. There we go. We're just gonna proxy it. Basically just move everything like vaguely into the right place. And then we'll smooth the fuck out of it. Once we've projected it. It doesn't need to fit perfectly, and probably once I've fitted it, I'll inflate it back out, but... just shrink it all back in place. Okay, that'll do. So now, project. I don't want project color. Okay. B-I-N. And there we go. Fitted geometry. So I'm just gonna smooth all that again. Although I could probably do this in Maya with a little bit more ease, but let's just smooth it. That'll just get the geometry kind of a little bit more uniform. Cool. Project again. Then B-I-N. Inflate again. There we go. So now we'll need to do a fair bit of cleanup. I have a technical doubt. Can you kindly share? Is spec albedo and spec tint the same? No. So in spec albedo, is that what it calls it in the BRDF? BSDF even? And in Disney principled BSDF, should we always set the value to 1? What value are you talking about there? Generally, I avoid values of 1 when I can, unless I've got a map that's, not white. But, I mean, there's not much I can say on that, to be honest. In terms of, like, what's quote-unquote correct. Shit, sorry. 1 sec. Solo this guy. I just need to smooth that out. There we go. Cool. So now we got that. We need to... Okay, there we go. So now we need to actually make this look good, which is a different thing altogether. In fact, actually, maybe what we can do from here is hide that, show that, and just line these up. That's going to be easier said than done, isn't it? Okay, well, move tool. So we do have incredibly uneven thickness in this, which I'm not too keen on. Especially like here. But yeah, our thickness is completely off, like it's asymmetrical. So I think we're gonna have to pull all this back a little bit. In fact, I might just quickly give it a jab with the smooth. And then inflate it back out. That might be a little bit quicker than manually moving all the verts. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we got that. Let's inflate it all back out. But yeah, so specular tint and specular albedo, sorry. So, I don't know the technical difference between them, but generally anything that says tint is a artificial effect. In most shaders that I've seen, the naming tint is used for things that are like applied to the final result, rather than actually influencing everything else. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Okay, let's solo that. BST. That feels better. Got some funky stuff going on with that guy, but... we have an eye. Mostly. So now we've got all that in place, I kind of want to get the eyelid sharpness. So let's just grab that guy, pull him up, pull him down, pull him up, do the same on that side. It's that loop there, it's supposed to be the furthest back. we have a body mesh. Do VFX guides exclusively use displacement maps, or are normal maps used for props? Normal maps aren't too common. Bump maps, however, are fairly common. So something that VFX really puts a lot of focus into is how quickly can we up-res or down-res an asset. Because the problem with our type of work is that client can change their mind at any given moment, like with anything. So we may have an asset that like looks really good for like really low quality, like for far distance. Like it might look great, but then client will say, hey, actually we changed our mind, can we have a shot that looks like this close? And all of a sudden our asset has to be seen extremely like high detail. So something that we do quite a lot is we will have like universal base meshes, universal approaches to basically everything, so that if we need to up-res, we can just subdivide once, change bump into displacement, and that's it. We've got an up-res. Obviously, we'll need to spend more time on textures and that sort of stuff, but that's a different thing. So we're built. Our pipelines are built with the idea of being able to change resolution quite quickly. I don't know if that's like an intentional thing, but that's like a byproduct of how they're set up. So generally normal maps aren't used too much because you can't directly convert normal into displacement, at least without some quite complex setups. Whereas bump, you just plug it into this and it works. So we tend to use bump maps. You'll find that in my stuff as well. I tend to use bump maps quite a lot rather than disp. What's the word I'm looking for right now? Sorry, just trying to. Yeah, sorry, I was distracting myself there. Yeah, normal maps can't easily be converted, so bumps can just be plugged back and forth. It's quite nice. Okay. So now's where we get into all the fights with our mesh. Okay, we need to change approach here for a moment. I need to replace my Wacom soon. I'm starting to feel like notches while I'm pushing my brush back and forth. I've actually joined DNegs with clarifying some doubts before reaching my soup. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Pixar Disney, I mean, it's quite an old shader. I wouldn't use that if you've got the choice. Like, I'd use Pixar Surface. Like when I was at MPC, obviously MPC is like a known render man studio as well. I used Pixar Surface for everything I could. Pixar Disney is, I think 2015, 2016, something like that. Pixar Surface is a lot more new. And generally I found a lot more predictable, which is so important. Okay, so now we're just going to pull all this up until it matches. Trying our best to not push it through the eye too much, but obviously we will, so I'll have to kind of fix the thickness again later. But I'm not worried about this middle edge loop. The middle edge loop can kind of do its own thing, to be honest. I don't care. Maybe it's easier if we just inflate this way out. No, I can't do that. Okay, I'm just going to pull everything down. Pull that up. Okay, once we've got that ballparked, we'll go into 3D view, or sorry, the ISO view, like this. Quickly fix up that middle line. I'm tempted to remove the middle line for now, actually, to be honest. Once that's fixed, we'll pull everything out again, and rinse repeat until it's fitted. Okay, rinse repeat. Once I've done this, I'm just going to have to quickly go open up the tumble dryer because it's screaming. There we go. That feels a lot better than what we just had. So now, yep, there we go. Okay, I'm going to go back to when it was still masked. Pull that backwards like that. I'm not going to match it up perfectly, I'm just going to ballpark it for now. Because we're going to be back and forth quite a lot on this, I feel. Bottom one's still okay. Maybe this bit needs fixing up. Okay, now we start fixing up the eyelid. Come on, there we go. I'll have to edit edge flow the middle loop there, I think. Do that in Maya. Is the work culture is the work culture in VFX really cutthroat, or is it more chill? It's very desirable job. See, the culture within studios pretty chill. It's been a while since I was actively job hunting, so I can't really say like what the job hunting culture is like. I'd assume it's still fairly chill. Like the cutthroat nature of it isn't necessarily people being cutthroat, it's more just, hey, you're competing with thousands and thousands of people. So studios have their pick. They can get whoever they want. They don't have to pick you. They can pick, you know, so many other options. So I'm not entirely sure what that culture is like at the moment. This isn't even slightly what I want. Yeah, I'm going to take this back into Maya. Resymmetrize it too. So, yep, let's turn off that. I'm going to save this scene because I haven't saved in a while. ZBrush scenes. In fact, I haven't saved almost this entire time. Oh, we're out of blockout. So 35. Let's set that to 36. Because now we've got topology, I need to actually treat things with more care. I can't just like change the point order whenever I feel like it. So we've got that guy. Let's check his export settings. Yeah, he's still good. Export. Then go to Maya, exports, body mesh. Cool. Go back into here. Let's go File, Import, Base Geo. Existing. I'm gonna give him preview map, which I don't think I named. By those things. Okay, we're just gonna call this preview map. Go back to this guy. Yeah, so let's go edit edge flow on that guy. Yeah, it's gonna take some work to actually fix up, but overall it's there. Lips are now closed. It's good. We need to get a caruncle in there. Do we fix some of this while we're in here? I guess we do. Oh, we also need to resymmetrize it, right? So, I can't remember how this works. So I think I do that. Go into edit mesh. Symmetrize is in either edit mesh or mesh, I can't remember which. Symmetrize. Okay, so you select the edge you want to copy, you select the shapes you want to copy over, so let's do that. G. There we go. That'll work. And then let's just go into topo symmetry. And it's gonna straighten up some of this stuff. Let's go edit edge flow on this guy. Nope, not like that. Edit edge flow. Okay. Let's just smooth just a freaking polygon border. Let's just help ZBrush out a little bit, because we've got a bit more precise control in Maya. Just gonna try to straighten this out. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to like work well enough. This area is a bit denser, so it might cause some issues, but let's do that. Okay, then edit edge flow this guy again. It's getting smoother. Kind of want to stop that from going up. So let's grab this, pull that down, pull that down, pull that down. Just pulling it down is going to cause intersections, but I don't really care, to be honest. Okay. Just trying to get a bit of a smoother curve. Until this corner, where it all falls apart. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna pull this forward. There we go. Much cleaner. It's not perfect, but it is cleaner. Okay. File, export selection. Let's go to... Yes, I know. Let's go to body mesh. Cool. Get back into ZBrush. Import. That's so much cleaner. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just go to polygroups. Let's go BUV. I got a group spec. So I'm gonna, at this resolution, start smart resim. And then I'm gonna quickly go turn off the washing machine. This is my most epic stream by far. Really? Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. Smart resimming. Right, I'm gonna quickly start the washing machine. Back in 1 sec. it back. Right, so did that finish? I don't know if it actually changed anything, but it looks symmetrical. So now, let's sort out the horns, because they're really weirdly bumpy. Kind of like that bump actually. I'm going to inflate it slightly. And that angle's a bit of a weak one, so let's go into focal shift 50. Just nudge that in. Sweet. There's something weirdly manly about the face right now. I can't pinpoint what it is. It's come like since doing all this symmetry work. Maybe it's the bumpiness of the eyelids. Let's sort out the eyelids a little bit. So I'm going to come on. Once I've got the eyelids sorted, I'm going to start on the inside of my mouth. But for now, let's do that. Cool. And we're just going to go to the lowest res. That's easiest to work on. Smooth out all this stuff. Okay, I'm going to have to do this. Why does it do that? Oh yeah, because that top edge is like brutally sharp. It has to be because it's a crease, but it causes issues. Control H, yeah, there we go. If you didn't know, Control H hides your mask, but it still keeps it active. It's really helpful for this sort of stuff, where you need like to see precisely what you're doing. See, I'm able to get like a much smoother shape now, because I can see clean. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to just go through, inflate it very slightly. In fact, I might blur the mask. Let's go to lower subdiv. There we go. Feels a bit better. Much smoother. Now the lower lid. Something I need to also keep track of is make sure that my topology line is always marking the same point. What I mean by that is we've got this line here, which is supposed to be the eyelid shelf, but then we've got the actual eyelid shelf there. Come to think of it, I also now need to go in and fix the inner part of the eye as well, because that's very pinchy. Okay, let's go to the lowest res, move you back. Do you texture skin in Mari or Painter? I texture in Mari. I've used Painter for one of my projects, which was the Sticky Monsters project. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun tool. I generally use Mari. I mean, obviously these days, like because I've got the whole partnership with the Foundry thing, I always need to double check if we're continuing that this year. But like, I obviously now have a vested interest in using Mari, so I'm going to be open and transparent with that. They don't pay me or anything, they just give me free software, but like that's still a reason to be like biased towards them. So I want to be fair and say that. But yeah, I mean overall I use Mari in like, you know, whenever I'm texturing at work, which I don't do at DD and Digital Domain, but I did used to do at NPC sometimes. I always use Mari. Okay, that's intersecting, so we'll need to fix that. I think once we fix that, we've got a decent eyelid. In fact, I could even leave that to a later date. Go to the subtool. So I kind of want to start on the inside. Okay, let's hide you. I'm going to show body. Turn off that. I'm going to hide the hair. Okay, we'll turn off transparent. Got the head, which we're gonna show. Shape of the old one had something to it, so I'll try to recover that a little bit. But for now, what we're gonna do is just quickly go in, go to project just the color. That'll give us this. There we go. Weird how we get in the low res. Why is it so low res? Oh, was I low res when I projected? Okay, let's try that again. This will take a hot minute. Okay, looks like it's done. There we go. Still not very high res. But, I mean, it works. We don't need to care too much. It is, at the end of the day, just the you know, polypane. So let's just set you to RGB. Okay, there we go. I need to fix up this corner. Well, there we go. Okay, we have to switch between head. Okay, that is a much nicer shape than what we've got. And what's ours doing? That, okay. So let's think. Okay, if we mask these guys out, mask these guys. Okay. Going to go down a few subdivisions actually. I'm going to move these around until it matches. Okay, it's not far off. So this bit needs to go back. That might work. Okay, and that's intersecting itself, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we need to flatten out this as well. Okay. We do need to make sure the depth isn't too much in some of these areas actually. But we need to make a smooth line. Like that. Okay, and I'm gonna... Come on. There we go. Okay. Smooth out everything that gets created, I guess, like that. power of topology. It makes things so much easier. Like doing this without topo earlier was fucking nightmarish. Okay. There we go. Oh, we need to paint the hands. If you're going to look dev the asset, how long does it usually take with all the supported model texture LBLs, or IBLs? Are you talking about industry time, or are you talking about person project time? Because both vary quite a lot. It's kind of hard to say like how long something should take. At work, like the quickest I've ever done a look dev for an asset was like 2 or 3 days for like a relatively high-end character, in terms of like, you know, how long it's on screen, that sort of stuff. But you know, sometimes an asset can take months or even years. The longest I've ever personally worked on something was 8 months, in terms of like professional work that I've spent, you know, on one asset. 8 months was the longest. It varies a lot, like really a lot. Okay, there we go. We have topo. So now we need to start getting on the inside of the mouth. Cool. So now is where it starts to get a bit tricky. I think we can sculpt it asymmetrically for the most part. But yeah, we'll need to take this back into Maya to like really capture all this stuff. Right, so let's grab just this section. Probably hide all this stuff as well, actually. Okay, so time to work on the inside of the mouth. So, thickness of the lips. God, this is so... I hate the camera in ZBrush. It's so awkward to use. I think first thing I know for sure is that... Oh, God. Okay. I want to do this. I made a fuck up. Okay, let's mask you. That. Like that. Don't care about that. My eye's getting a bit janky. Locking the camera on the y-axis can help. I've seen that before. That one. Rotate on Y. Let me just center the camera. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of this stuff as well because it's not helping. There we go. So, turn perspective back on. Let me see if... Okay, so let's try that y-axis thing. Oh wow, yeah. Feels more like Maya's camera. Granted, I'm having a bit of difficulty with it, but I think that's just muscle memory kind of kicking my ass. Okay, so we need to start inflating this back, or maybe even just using the clay buildup. Okay, something like that. Okay, now we got that. Just push this down. Keep it symmetrical. Again, we'll be taking this into Maya to like solve some of the issues this creates, but that. Actually, no, that was staying symmetrical, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Okay. So this area should close up, shouldn't it? This is where I like the throat gets a lot smaller. XYZ rotate and zebra stripes minutes. Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like I'm the same in Mari. Like the default camera pivot in Mari or default camera rotations in Mari just are awful. Like I hate them so much. But you can change it to be the same as Maya, and I think you can change it to be the same as like every major DCC, which is a really nice feature actually. Okay, there we go. So we're going to take this back into Maya. That area needs some inflating. And let's just let it do its thing. So back to lowest res, export, body base geo. Make sure it's symmetrical. File, import. And then we're just going to go review. Assign basic material. Where's the template? Oh, it's preview material, not template material. Cool. Body geo. I'm going to give it the base name for a moment. So we need to make sure this is symmetrical, right? That's the thing that we're doing. Yeah, that's the asymmetry. So I'm just going to select like that. Not that one. Okay, that should work. So let's just get that copied over. So we're going to go into Edit Mesh, Symmetrize. Cool, that's now symmetrical again. Save scene. File, Export Selection. Cool. Then import. Let's go to that guy. Cool, there we go. So refine the eyelids a little bit, and then I'm going to start on some teeth. It's back face masking still on. I have to resim this, don't I? So, because it's symmetrical at the base, not symmetrical at the top. So, let's go to, where are you? It's deformation, right? Yep. And let's go resim. Smart resim like averages the two sides, right? Actually, this. There's gonna be asymmetry in there for a while, I can tell. There we go. So we have that. That's working. So there's a long list of things to continue with. Like, we still got the clothing to do, in like almost in its entirety. We do still have the. Oh, we can get rid of this guy now, I think. We got everything we need from that. Cool. We've got the eyes. Wrong mesh. There we go. Right, so let's think. Do I start on teeth or do I continue on clothing? I think I start on teeth. I'm trying to put off clothing as much as I can, not gonna lie. Oh, we need to quickly work up the ends of the ears, don't we? Because we changed the topo for that. So I'm just going to sculpt with topo visible, and we'll take it from there. So symmetry on first, it is cool. I hate the way this works. Cool, let's hide, there's a geo in here somewhere. I'm gonna guess it's these guys. It's in their entirety. Right, so just start. Let's make sure that's on. It is. Like that. Looks a little bit better. I know it's a very small difference, but that's what we made our topology for. Be able to like notch this stuff and have the topo continue over. Okay. Feels better. We'll be like kind of sharpening that up later. I need to go back to the original camera. There we go. Okay. Let's quickly fix up the neck. Just quickly add that in and soften it back out. The Adam's apple, despite its name, everyone has it. It's just a case of how visible it is. You can get women with incredibly visible ones. You can get women that barely have one. You can also get men that barely have one. Men are just more prone to having it. There we go. If you're doing this project for a client, would it still take this much time or less? And it would take the same amount of time in terms of hours, but I wouldn't be working on it 2-3 hours every now and then. I'd be working on it 8 hours a day. So, like, the total amount of work I've done so far, I think, is around 40-50 hours, which is one work week. Like, it's a single week. So it all varies. I mean, I'm not really pushing any particular pace. Like, if I was doing this for an actual client, I wouldn't have started making custom topology and that sort of stuff. I probably would have made, probably would have got a base mesh, you know, for like $50, $100 or something. Work from that, quickly add the ears, add the horns, add the tail. But like still work with that. Whereas obviously for this as a personal project, for the sake of learning, I've gone in and made my own custom topo for it, which obviously cost a lot of time to do. But I think it's worth it. So I tend to do that sort of stuff in my own personal work. But yeah, no, client work, I mean, if I was doing the same process, like if for whatever reason the client needed the custom topo, like if they couldn't have like the a regular base mesh for whatever reason, then I'd do it and it would take the same amount of time. But I would be working on it more hours per day, so. I think that's one of the things that like a lot of people overlook as well. I'm not saying you did, but like a lot of people overlook, like, when you work on a project, like if something takes months and months and months, it doesn't mean it's because it took a really long time. It just means that, like, you know, whatever reason, the person was working on it in a way that required months. If you work on something 8 hours a day, very few things require that long. I need to kind of push that in, don't I? Don't want to do that. Do want to do that. A nice thing as well with having like actual flowing topo now is smoothing automatically follows the flow of that topology, so we get much smoother shapes. Right, so let's go back to this guy. How do I feel about this overall? I feel like I need to smooth out this inner edge. Like that. So we need a few extra meshes. We need a caruncle mesh, which I'll just quickly add now because it takes no time at all. Let's just append sphere. Go to this guy, move him up to the side. Like that. Let's quickly throw him into place. Okay. I'll worry about symmetry later. We'll just throw this guy in, and then I'll like mirror it over. Just going to zero mesh that. Geometry, zero mesh. We're going to go really low, let's say 100 polys. Cool. Smooth that back out. Just going to go to transparent mode. going to temporarily hide the body mesh itself and just line this up to the eye. Okay, let's pull that out, pull that in. Okay, then we'll zoom mesh that again. Actually, kind of preferred the old topo. We'll just have to delete some loops, but that's fine. We can do that with Z modeler. Let's go to geometry, modify topology, mirror and weld, send symmetry back on, and then just start pushing these where I want them. I need to get some ref up for caruncles, but this will work for the most part. I need to hollow out the eyelid before it gets to the caruncle. What does a cute caruncle look like? These are the questions I have to ask now. Because the ref doesn't have them drawn in, I think. But it needs them. I mean, eyes have them, so. I need it to extend further than it actually will in the final version, just because we'll be adding transparency later on. Cool. We can show the hair again, because that's not going to do any damage. Overall it's working. Topology isn't really following the lips right now. There's another problem we got, like this kind of going straight, so we'll fix that up. For that we'll need the... Let's think for a moment here. We need the head mesh. And we need to get rid of everything else. And all we're going to do here is just go in, make this line. Is the head mesh showing? Okay, we'll just have... There we go. Okay, we're just going to isolate this for a moment. Grab just these outside verts and project them back on. Okay, something like that will do. I'm just going to go hit project. In fact, Just gonna hit project and all that. Project geometry and paint. Go back up a subdivision level, project all, go up a subdivision level, project all, and then that's where we can stop it. There we go. So we still need to kind of even out the topo a little bit, but that's kind of a very secondary issue, to be honest. Just doing this. Our lipstick color going. And then we're going to use that for the inside of the mouth as well. Do we not have polygroups? Okay, go back to the lowest. Polygroups. We need autogroup UV. I kind of love that. That's kind of funny. Okay, so we just need to go in with standard brush. Okay. Is painting unnatural? I delete the comment. Feel free to ask the question. It looks like a normal question. Okay, so now we've got all this. Let's just quickly smooth out this. Smooth out that. When painting on natural skin tones, how do you make them look realistic? By basing them in reality anyway. Had some typos. Fair enough. Yeah, so making things that aren't real look real comes down entirely to applying things from real life anyway. So in the case of doing unrealistic skin, like stylized skin, making it feel natural, like the way I'm going to do this asset, I'm going to trial something. Which is, I'm going to get a real person's skin texture, like a scan skin texture, and experiment with hue shifting it. I did a test a while ago, let me see if I can track it down. I sent it to James Busby actually, let me find something. So, James Busby. So, if you don't know him, he's the owner of 3D Scan Store. But like, what I'm thinking of doing is essentially this. I sent this test to him. So I'm going to get, obviously this is like overdone, but I'm going to get his skin texture, which is on the left, and then just going to try grading it, like hue shifting it, doing different areas of general tone. And then that will give me kind of the natural hue variation within each area. I get all the detail, all the kind of tiny things that you don't really notice, like these splotches. They're all in there. The hues are all kind of, you know, working with each other, like relative. The hue, like changes, are all like still the same relative to each other. And I think this is going to be the best way to get a realistic-ish skin. Granted, my final version won't just be a, you know, skin hue offset with different masks. There will be a lot more work going into it, but that's the general idea right now. So that's how I'm going to approach it. But yeah, I mean, there's not really any tricks to it. I think it's just a case of, hey, what looks natural in real life, and then figuring out whatever that is and applying it. I don't think there's any like, oh yeah, just hit this button or add that and it will work. The thing is, like, if something's not real, it can never mimic something that is actually real. Like, you're always going to know it's not real. So what you need to do is figure out, okay, what makes something feel believable anyway, regardless of whether it is real or not. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to smooth that in a bit. I don't want that angle change to be so severe. There we go. Cool. So we have that. Let's turn off solo and hide the eyes. Unhide the grunkles. There we go. We have a topologized head, all fitting in. So this might be our final mesh. Obviously, we need to work on the hand. The poor hands, like they're so weak. But we'll be working on those. I think. What time is it right now? It's 20 past. How long have I been streaming for? Wait, I need to check. Okay, so 2 hours. I can start on some teeth, I think. So, yeah, let's start making some teeth. I'm going to append a sphere again. So I'm just, yeah, there we go. Cool. Get that up there. So, we're going to need some good reference for this, because it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Let's just generally size it first. So we got, there we go. We want to generally follow the curvature of the lips. Reason being is because the teeth is what like forms the curvature of the lips. So we're working in reverse here. But we've already got a lip shape we like, so. And then, yeah, we need like dental casts or something. But that would be the base of our upper gums. So let's just search dental cast. And then I'm just going to drag over whatever images feel right. So put that. Let's go with the anatomy ref. Let's go here. Okay. So I'm just trying to find some good dental cast imagery. Why is it not copying them over? Open image in new tab. And try it on this screen. What the hell's going on? It's like one of my favourite features, and it's not working. That means I need to save all the images as I had them. Come on, please. Hey, there we go. Don't know why it worked this time, but okay. I'm not sure how many of these are actual real casts, but it's still helpful to have them. just looking for some good images of like somewhat healthy teeth. I need to figure out how I'm going to stylize her teeth as well. Like I'm gonna guess ahead of time and say I'm probably gonna give her quite strong canine teeth. Do that kind of cute vampire tooth thing. I don't think there's any images with her teeth in them, right? She's always got a mouth closed or covered. Yeah, like the only time you see her lips is that. So I'll get some more scan ref. Okay, that one is quite helpful for like the surface of the teeth, the front. Cool. Let's get one more for the top teeth. So I'm still just looking for some good ref. Kinda handy. Oh, okay, that's helpful. So this is someone's damaged teeth, but like it's actual teeth. Kinda gross to look at, but the drawing over it from a professional is kinda handy. So I'm gonna work on this. So let me just organize these a little bit. Okay. Gonna size it down a bit so we can get everything a bit tighter. Let's do like that. That one can be secondary. Let's get this in place. Okay, then we'll size this down to something a bit nicer to look at. What sort of environment do you want to put Mona in? I haven't thought that far yet. I'll figure that out once I've got an asset. Do you want to use Unity or Unreal? Nope. I don't really do real-time art. It's not really something I'm too big on at the moment. Although working in games is something I've played like the idea of a few times. It's still not something I'm actively working towards. Right, so right, time to get working on this. So we're just going to start by grabbing that. Okay, we need to dynamesh the hell out of this. So I think I'm going to model the teeth into the same mesh. This is something that becomes like not an argument, but it's something that comes up quite often. Like whether you do teeth separate or combined. And I don't think there's actually a consensus on it yet. Like I don't think there's one that's better than the other. One thing that's for sure is combining the meshes. It gives you a lot more control over the subsurface. But obviously there's less flexibility overall. Right, okay, so let's just get a general that. Okay, so this. Let's mark our middle line. Okay, and so from the front we got 4 dominant teeth which kind of lead out to here, I'd say. maybe here. Yeah. And between that is one large tooth and one more narrow tooth. And this one's the K9. Okay. Then we want these guys. Generally should line up, but a little bit longer. Okay. And then from the sides, we have the same number of teeth top and bottom. We got 1, 2, 3. And then I guess would be like a fourth is the wisdom tooth. About here, I think. Okay, let's go a bit further. Okay, let me find out how many teeth. In fact, I can count on myself one sec. Oh, here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8th is the wisdom tooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7. Then wisdom tooth is behind that. I'm not going to bother with wisdom tooth. Okay. So, have that. Okay, we're just going to go into this guy. Something that the Sculptures Pro is really good at is getting rid of thin areas of geometry. Like, it's really good at it. You just smooth with a large brush and it's just gone. Like that. Okay. Wait, does this work? If this works, that's amazing. Not really. Might have been easier to like sculpt some gums and then dynamesh some teeth into it. Oh well. Learn for next time, which is probably never. The gums actually need to keep going further back. Not sure where that's supposed to hang, but I'm going to assume there for a little bit. That feels about right. I've got a bit of an issue where the back ones are kind of Yeah, that shouldn't be the shape. That should be the shape. Yeah, it feels better. See, this is the sort of thing where voxel sculpting becomes really good, because you can just like carve out these areas really quickly. Okay. Also need to make these teeth a lot thicker. I need to find a good ref for the top teeth. One sec. Dental cast, upper jaw. That's a helpful image for the lower jaw. It's typical, you always find like the best images for something when you're looking for something else. I just need to see the upper jaw like open. Not sure if this one counts, but it's kind of helpful maybe. It's forensic dentistry. Quite low res, but maybe helpful. Why is the bottom jaw so much better? It's doing it again. Copy image. Paste. Okay, that works. It's a really good image. That one's even better. Again, lower jaw. All of them. All the good ones are lower jaw images. Okay. Okay. So this one needs to be a lot narrower. And this guy's still kind of narrow. And these guys are huge. And that guy is weirdly angular. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot about teeth while I'm doing this. Like, a lot. Okay. Might up-res, actually. Let's go to geometry, Dynamesh. Let's go 256. Or 248, I guess. Close enough. This guy needs to be a lot more narrow. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we'll use that as a block out. I'm gonna go to modeling, ZBrush scenes. Gonna save you. In fact, let's delete the other meshes. Okay, save. .217. Okay, and save a new version. Okay. So let's duplicate that. Duplicate. Then we need to go to scale, which is in deformation, I believe. I don't remember how you flip a mesh. Like, can I just scale it? No, I can't. I can just, like, do that, I guess. Okay, then I go to geometry. I forget about that. The tonsils are touching. Don't like that. Okay, there we go. So then this one has to be a lot deeper, because the tongue sits in this one. Okay. So in these ones, how many teeth do I have on the bottom? Do I have a good sight at the bottom? Any of these? Definitely have more teeth. But how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more tooth? Okay. And it looks like it's mostly the small ones, I guess. Yeah, it's the front. That's kind of like subdivided almost. This guy's got a tooth in the middle of his face. Yes, there's an extra set of teeth in the bottom. So let's just quickly mark some new lines. We'll get those hollowed out. Tooth there as well. Okay. So these teeth need to be a fair bit smaller, a little bit shorter, a lot more narrow. We need to pull you in as well. Okay. Then this guy's got quite a gap to him by those things. Like he's like more like that. Beautiful. Okay, so quite a lot of move brush work to do. These guys are shorter. Yeah, shorter. About the same height actually, but let's just get those. This guy should be sharper, right? We have canines both front and bottom, so let's just pull that. It's kind of messy back here, so we're gonna have to do some janky teeth. We're upside down, aren't we? Here we are. How will you separate and retop the teeth from the gums? I'm going to keep the teeth as part of the same mesh. Although if I did want to separate it, I wouldn't like try to go into this mesh and extract the teeth. I'd just model some cubes to match the shapes and then just ignore them when I'm retopoing. But I think I prefer the idea of keeping them as part of the same mesh. At least for this character. I don't need like the gums to have like transparency on them. Although I kind of want that on the teeth a little bit, but we can solve that when we get to it. Let's do a test. Let's go to body. Alright, we need to pull the gums back, but if I go into topological, yeah, teeth are a bit gappy. Kind of ugly looking teeth, but that's a fairly easy fix, relatively speaking. So let's go to the bottom teeth again. Transparency. Need to make sure not to give him an overbite. I'll give her an overbite. Why did I say him? Okay. Slightly horrifying, but it will work. Right. How's this sound? Oh, they're all pushing forward, that's not good. tooth over there is getting really squished. Let me... Yeah, so this tooth needs to be pointier. Like that. And the tooth next to him needs to be pointier and a bit chunkier too. Yeah, they are really narrow actually. Right, and all of these are too long. Wondering how do we stylize these? Right, 1.2 mil. Is that how high res they are? That's unnecessary. Let's dynamesh it down. Geometry. Dynamesh. Let's go. $500K. Yeah, that's better. Almost did what I wanted. Let's go geometry, modified topology, mirror and weld. Okay, deform, mirror, geometry, mirror and weld. They still need to be narrower, don't they? Yeah, in fact, the two first teeth are almost entirely fitting in that. So let's make that even more narrow. Okay, 2, 1. That kind of shape. Beautiful. Times it's 2 o'clock. I'll probably end the stream quite soon. Yeah, I'll end the stream at 3 hours, so another 15 minutes. So at 2:20 that's when I'll end it. Right, okay, so now let's quickly sort out the bottom teeth actually for that. One, two, three. Four. So this guy's more round. And then this guy's where they start to get like super round. Wait, which set of teeth is this? This is the bottom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess the bottom ones are bigger. So then we add this ridge. guess the last thing we need to add is a tongue, right? So let's go subtool, extract. Go extract, immediately accept because I can't see it. Oh, hello. That's actually a fascinating shape. I'm gonna dynamesh that. Yeah, let's go geometry, dynamesh, dynamesh again, transparent. If you're a casting director, I'm not. Who would you like Mo to be voiced by? Tara Strong or Alicia Keys? I don't fucking know. You definitely think I think more into my projects than I do. I'm just making a cool asset. Like, I don't care about the lore. I don't care about really any of that stuff. I don't think you have to for a project to still be fun and worth doing. Plus, it's not even my character. It's a character by someone called Katie. She's in the Discord. If I know you're in there. Yeah, she's the one who cares about that sort of stuff. For me, it's irrelevant. Okay, let's get the head visible, and then turn on transparent. Okay, so let's go geometry. Zero mesh that bad boy. Set it down to like there. So for this sort of shape, zero mesh is fine. Zero mesh does exactly what you need it to. At least these days. It used to produce a lot of spiral edge loops, but it doesn't anymore. Okay. I'm just going to add a line of the middle here. Okay. So let's zero mesh that. I kind of want it to get a loop around it, but if that's all it's going to give me, then so be it. In fact, let's try Alt Zero Mesh. Ooh, that's better. Okay. Hey, does this type of how does the type of project to you matter? Right now I'm working on Ryan Gosling Digidouble, and I want to do a creature model of Venom. I'm worried that's not what studios look for. Hey, does the type of project you do matter? I mean, yes, and also no. There's a lot of layers to this. The way I see it, if you're doing a good-looking asset, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. There are caveats to that. You know, you should never do anything too distasteful. Don't, like, generally avoid doing anything that's pornographic, doing anything that is really excessively violent. Like anything that's like, you know, gruesome as all hell. Granted, that's something that is a bit looser. You're gonna want to avoid doing any like kind of obviously political stuff. So avoid like sculpting like political figures and that sort of stuff if you can. I don't think that matters as much, but like, you know, you wouldn't sculpt like Hitler. Like, you wouldn't put Hitler in your portfolio. Hitler's on my mind recently because of the whole Kanye thing, which is fucking mental. But yeah, you need to. Let me think. I'm trying to think in terms of like projects. Like, is there a preference? Personally, I think no. It doesn't matter what you do. Again, as long as it looks good. Now, making something that looks good is obviously important. That's something you don't really need me to tell you. Yeah, I think other than like political stuff and overly hateful stuff and overly sexual stuff, you can do whatever you want. Now, it's still good to have variety. I wouldn't just do like digitable after digitable after digitable. Like the Venom thing you say could be really good. It gives you a chance to kind of flex an ability to do like more kind of viscous fluid modeling, like getting all the stuff kind of peeling off him. Could be really, really cool if you want to do that. If you're not going that far into it, and it's just another character, then you know at least it's different enough from doing a digidouble of Ryan Gosling. I think that's what you said. Yeah, you did. But yeah, I mean, it depends where you're applying to. At the end of the day, like hell, everything I was just saying would be irrelevant if you're applying to work at a fucking like CG porn studio, because they do exist. Like if you're applying there, then yeah, you want overly sexualized stuff in your portfolio. It all depends on where you're going. But most jobs, like, generic is fine. Just well-executed generic is what they want. Okay, so we got some basic teeth in there. I think this is a good place for me to end the stream. Because we've got our head mesh, we got caruncles. Let's show the clothing. Got the shoes, clothing. So 16K, 19K, 100K. Yeah, I'll need to go a bit lower res on this guy, I think. Because we're looking at a total poly count right now of around 250,000. Which, not ideal. And granted, it's fine. I've worked on much higher poly characters. The highest polygon character I've ever worked on was like 700k. I can't go into what project that was for and that sort of stuff, because once I give away a technical detail, it's good to avoid giving away names as well. But I've worked on way higher poly than 200k before, so I'm not too worried about it. Rigging performance also wouldn't be too big of a deal, because normally I'd make some kind of proxy mesh for them to play with if I was doing a model in industry. Which is, in this case, for a project like this, although I'm not doing it in industry, I will probably rig it myself, which means I'm going to want a proxy mesh to play with. Right, okay, so we have our base mesh. Let's just get that in there. Yeah, we have a base mesh in place. We, that's a lot of polygons, lol. Yeah, I mean, like, poly count is something that I find students are fucking years behind on in a lot of universities. Games now can often get to like 80k on a single character. Granted, not every game. Granted, not every character in those games. But like the poly counts you get to now in film and in games is getting bigger. Polygons aren't that expensive. You know, we're not on the PlayStation 2 or Xbox 360 anymore. You can play with polygons. Granted, don't use them excessively for no reason. Like the reason I've got this amount of polygons is because first I want to groom this character, which means I can't do low poly because XGen is going to subdivide the mesh at render time. So I need to make sure that when I smooth my mesh, the shape doesn't change. Which at this low poly, if we look at the, I'm trying to look at the eyebrows and the camera keeps taking me elsewhere. Please. So like the shape here is like quite angular, and then I subdivide it and it's like now rounded. From here to here it doesn't change shape, but from here to here it does. So I want to be at this level of polygons for my head, which is why I'm going to subdivide it once. So I need polygons for the groomed mesh to make sure that the hair's not like kind of dropping through the mesh. In terms of the clothing, I intend on simulating this like once it's in pose as well, which means that all these wrinkles and stuff, I kind of want to make sure I've got those in topo so that they can be maintained. Because if I just do them in displacement, what's going to happen is when I subdiv that, new wrinkles will form, and the displacement will still be trying to do these, but on top of new forms, so it'll look really fucky. Whereas if I simulate with a mesh like this, we'll lose some of these shapes, but we'll gain new ones, and because we're not doing big shapes in displacement, the displacement itself will still be very simple, which means it's not going to have to constantly be updated when we move the mesh around. Like, there's reasons for these poly counts. I'm not just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna go 400k on this jacket, because from here to here, the shape doesn't really change, and it kind of goes beyond my needs. So there's reasons for this stuff. I think it's just a case of like people, again, mostly students and like out of touch teachers, will be like, oh yeah, you have to be, you know, sub 20k polygons for something to run real time. So no, like, you really don't. This is like a discussion I get into quite frequently, because I use more polygons than I need, but like I have a purpose for a lot of them at least. But I often get into the thing of like people be like, oh, you're using too many. It's like, I'm not using too many, I'm just using more than what you're used to. There's a really big difference there. Okay, I'm just going to quickly work on Tifa a little bit more. Then I'm going to head out and go for a walk. I'm about to marathon Cyberpunk Edge Runners with some friends, so I want to make sure I do some walking today, otherwise I'll be sat down all day. I just got to say, I love the streams, I've learned a lot. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you like them then. Okay, let's round that out, flatten it a bit. Get to this angle, sculpt you in. Okay, I'm getting a call. One sec. That time it was Becca. She's almost home, and we're going to go for a walk, so I think that's a good time to end things. Let me just read that last question. Does polygon count matter in other animation programs or game engines besides Maya? It matters in everything. Like, it is important. I'm not saying polygon count isn't important. I'm just saying that we can use more polygons than we used to be able to. Like, for performance, it really matters. And it always will do. Until, like, computers are so powerful that we could never possibly fill them. We're gonna have optimization things. But, like, a character like this, like, if you're doing 250k, not every character is going to be that amount of polygons. Like, the poly count is going to vary from character to character depending on how close they are to camera. There's always things you can do to speed up performance. But yeah, so anyway, that's me done, I think, for today. I may stream again tomorrow. I may even stream again tonight, depending on what time I'm done. But that would be quite late. Anyone outside of the Eastern Standard Time or West Coast of America, or the Americas, I should say, it would be too late for you guys. But yeah, we'll just trying to think what I'll do in the next stream, because we need to get onto the clothing soon. I think the trousers are kind of ready. I just need to subdivide. Sorry, I just need to create a hole for the tail to sit through. Now that I've got a body that's sculpted as well, I can actually start taking that mesh into Marvelous so that everything's lining up. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm looking forward to like look deving it. Yeah, look deving this and grooming it's going to be a ton of fun. Like, I'm really looking forward to doing the hair. Doing something in Next Gen again after so long of Yeti is going to be really nice and refreshing. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to tackle the makeup. Not in terms of like the eyeliner, that's really easy. I just texture that. Well, do a separate material and mask that in. But I'm meaning more for the eyelashes. Like, do I want to do mascara in the eyelashes and stuff? Because using X-Gen is not the easiest for that sort of stuff. But anyway, So I'm going to save this. And yeah, that'll be it for today. Again, potentially stream later, potentially stream tomorrow. If not, I'll be streaming again on Monday or Tuesday. And we'll either work on the hands, or we'll get a hole into the trousers and start getting that retopologized. Which, to be fair, we've got a first pass in retopology for it already. Just using the zero mesh and polygroup thing. But yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you for stopping by and all that jazz. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one, guys. Right, bye.